no particular intro this week.
This is going to be a very, very somber episode.
Very sad, very somber. And when I was preparing for this episode yesterday, looking at all the stuff we can talk about, I thought, yeah, there's a cool little pieces of news here and there, and it's been a very strong week for all the shows. It's going to be a good week, It's going to be a very positive, fun, nice, uplifting week. But that's not the case. Yes, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen the news, but before we jump into all of that, of course, I am your host, Declan, and with me is Dan.
Hey. We're just so depressed.
We're just going to be going through all the news, as usual, and reviewing all of this week's episodes. But before we get into the depressing news, which we are going to spend quite a bit of time on, I just want to talk about just something the CW have released just now, which is all the finale dates for all of their shows, but obviously I'll just go through the Arrowverse ones. So Arrow is actually finishing first on May the 13th.
Oh.
Flash.
Now that's good, because I was about to say, if it's finishing that early, then surely it'll finish UK time for Heroes and Villains. Yeah. I swear to God, if it doesn't, and it's like, oh, it can't ask questions, I will genuinely get mad.
Especially with the recent news. Flash will finish the day after on May the 14th. Supergirl will finish the following Sunday on May the 19th, and Legends will finish the day after that on May 20th. So they're all pretty much within the space of 7 days.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's that out of the way. So let's get into the big news. Just before I went to bed last night, I thought to myself, hey, let's check Twitter. Just before I go
Worst decision ever.
And I see Stephen Amell has confirmed that Arrow Season 8 will be the final season of the show, consisting of a 10-episode run this fall on the CW. This is the end. We're in the end game now.
Hey.
This is, I mean, obviously I've made a couple videos, I've been non-stop on Twitter about it. It's just so sad. I mean, thing is, we've said this before. We saw it coming. The writing was on the wall. Me and you have both said Season 8 would be the final season.
Yeah.
But now that it's here, and now that it's official, just my inner Arrow fanboy cannot escape the fact of how sad this news is for me. Just how much Arrow means to me. Don't worry, I'll let you speak in a minute. Just because of how much Arrow means to me, how much of an inspiration it is for me, how big part of my life it is, Stephen Amell, and how much of a role model he's been in my life. It's just really sad to think that this show, which is such a big part of my life, is ending. But I mean, all good things have to come to an end, and what I'm really happy about is that this show is ending on its own terms. It's not been cancelled, and I'll let you go on about that in a minute.
Oh yeah.
But it's not been cancelled. It's ending on its own terms. The writers and the showrunners came to the executive decision to end the show. And I have to say, I'm pretty excited about the 10 episodes for the season. I think that'll be an interesting choice and definitely beneficial to the show. So I'm happy that it's ending on its own merits. I'm happy that it's ending on a high. Season 7 has been so good, and I'm sure Season 8 will continue to do so if Beth Schwartz carries on as showrunner. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to Arrow, but I'll let you say your piece.
Yeah, I'm the same boat as Declan. I already kind of expected Season 8 to be the final season. I mean, heck, I made a video like last year about how I thought Season 7 or 8 would be the end, and I remember people giving me shit saying, oh, it's going to make it to Season 10. And then, like you say, when you hear this news and you have that concrete information of like, this is it, this is the final season, you probably don't expect it to hit you as hard because it's like, oh, I'm expecting it. Won't, it's not going to affect me as much, but it's still weird because every time I'm going to be watching the rest of Season 7, it's going to be like, we're approaching the end. We're approaching an actual end point. It's just mental, and it is sad. But like you say, I'm just happy that it's being able to end on its own terms rather than just the network turning around and being like, oh, it's cancelled. You can't write anything else for it. You can't write a proper ending. So I'm happy it's on their own terms. I'm happy they've been given that option. I'm happy that they've, I wouldn't say happy, but more interested by the episode count, because 10 is quite a strange number, because obviously, typically shows will only have 9 episodes during the full season.
Yeah.
So the fact it's getting an extra episode onto that is quite interesting. So that has me curious. But yeah, I'm just happy because this show's meant a lot to me. I've watched it since it first aired in 2012. I know with you watched it about... When did you start watching Arrow? Was it 2015 or like 2016?
2016. I started watching it. Well, I started watching it live with season 5. Yeah,
because I've watched it live since 2012. So technically, I've been watching this live before Banshee, which is weird to think, and it's just it's meant such a big thing to me. It's been such a big, influential show, not just to me, but to loads of other people out there. And the shows has had its low points. Season 3, season 4, season 6, but the highs have ultimately exceed them for me. Like seasons 1 and 2, season 5, season 7 so far. And without this show, you wouldn't have the Arrowverse. I mean, the fact it's called the Arrowverse shows how important Arrow is. And I'm just happy that it's ending on its own terms. And I have faith that if they keep Beth Schwartz, it'll go out with a bang. And I just want to quickly say something beforehand, because it's something that's really pissed me off over the past 24 hours about this. I put this on Twitter. The amount of articles and people I see saying Arrow was cancelled, Arrow cancelled, CW cancels Arrow. Let's just make this abundantly clear. There is a clear difference between a TV show being cancelled and it being an executive decision by the writers and the producers to end the show. If the CW came out and were like, we're sad to announce that Arrow is ending after season 7, and it was so abrupt, and it was maybe... That's what TV shows usually do. If a network thinks a show is failing critically or from a viewership standpoint, they don't give people the option of writing another season because it wouldn't be financially beneficial. I've seen it tons of times before. I've seen it with The Following. I've seen it with tons of other shows. And so the fact that they're actually having this 10-episode run to tell them to a season, the fact that Stephen Amell's even said that they've had these conversations since the end of season 6, this has been the talking point for over a year. So how could the show be cancelled if the network has let them have all this time to plan out an ending? And this is by their own accord. This is the network breathing down the necks, being like, oh, got to end it by this point. This is their decision. And that is what I absolutely commend them for. But it just pisses me off when I see websites and people on YouTube putting these thumbnails up being like, oh, it was cancelled because it's shit. No, get your facts right. They ended it because they wanted to, because it felt right to them. I'm going to call out some of these people. Collider, the Black Lion on YouTube, aka Brandon's long-lost brother. People like you who just run around with these stupid articles because you want to have attention drawn to you. Fuck you. This show is good. It didn't get cancelled. Up yours. Rant over.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very clear difference. I mean, even the CW, like you said, they don't give shows. If they want to cancel something, then and there they will cancel it.
Yeah, it is very rare that I've ever seen the CW fully step in and just pull the plug on something. It's always been by the show's accord. I mean, look at Supernatural. Yeah. That show is on that's because what season will it be getting now? 13, 14?
I think it's 15. I think it's next season. It's 15. I'm pretty sure.
Good God.
Yeah, the CW is not someone who cancels shows.
Yeah, this isn't someone like Fox, which is notorious for it. They're awful for it.
Even, another CW show I love, which is iZombie, that's getting its 5th and final season this year, and that was. I think iZombie was cancelled, but again, they gave it another season to allow the writers to end it and finish it. And I think as well, they kind of knew it was coming. And Arrow's kind of a similar situation. And I feel like, the show was not cancelled. They would not have, if they were going to cancel it, they would have just said, oh, wrap it up. Because we're halfway through season 7 at this point. They haven't finished writing the season yet. So they would have just said, wrap it up this season. Not, let's give you another season to do it. So, it's ridiculous. And it's all just clickbait. And, that's the world we live in. But yeah. I mean, there's a lot of questions I have regarding season 8 with the 10 episodes, because like you say, typically the first the mid-season is 9 episodes, and that includes the crossover. So it's interesting because it's thinking, where's the crossover going to fall? I've heard people say that the crossover is actually going to kick off the next season. It's going to come before everything else.
I've heard those rumors as well.
But then I'm thinking to myself, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Arrow episode of the crossover is the final episode of Arrow, or potentially, because what they could do is, like Flash did this year, they start Arrow a week early, so it lines up with everything else. So by the time you get to episode 10 of Arrow, Flash and Supergirl will be on 9, and then you can do the crossover and do it that way. Or potentially what I've seen happen is you keep it in line and it's episode 9 for everything, the crossover.
Yeah, and then 10 is just like this big grand finale for Arrow.
And 10, like, at 10 is, and because the thing is, even though all the other shows will go on break, you know, you can keep Arrow on for another week. It's not that big of a deal. You can do that. And I've seen a lot of people think that obviously Oliver's going to die in Crisis, and episode 10 will be the funeral. I've seen that.
No.
Do you not think he's going to die?
No, because Stephen Amell's already said on Twitter that even though Arrow's gone, I will still be around. Which for me, I just don't think they would have the balls to kill off Oliver, and I just think it will be because and I remember I saw Pagey make this quote a long time ago, and it makes perfect sense. And that for me is the fact that this entire show has been about the fact that Oliver has this entire show, and the point of it is being about Oliver, you know, being reborn and being like. Oliver's basically become like this murderous person for like 5 years on an island. The entire point of this show is him becoming human. It's about him actually becoming a normal person. I feel like killing him off would be a complete waste of that. So the way I would prefer it is, like you say, if they just have the crossover as episode 9 and then episode 10 is kind of this grand finale send-off for him, because I just don't think killing him off would be the right decision story-wise. Yeah. Like, it just wouldn't make sense for me.
It would be interesting to see this season if Oliver shows up in the flash forwards, because obviously that will give us our answer. Because I have sort of got the idea in my head that maybe in the season finale of this season we might see Oliver in the flash forwards. Maybe that could happen, and it depends. Are they going to do the flash forwards in season 8? I imagine so.
I'd imagine so, but it's also with the fact that I don't know. I really don't know, because if you do that, you're then adding more stuff into your pile, and you've only got half the episodes. So I don't know. To be honest, I'd rather that they just finish up the flash forwards this season, and then season 8 is just solely focused on ending the current day storyline. Yeah, that's what I prefer.
I'd be fine with that. And I mean, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to consider. But it's hard to speculate when we don't know the answers.
I mean, we're gonna have a lot of questions for these cast members when we go to Heroes and Villains.
We're just gonna be so sad this year.
Oh God!
Just knowing that it's all. I mean, because the thing is, I've got my photo op with Stephen Amell. I'm gonna go up to the booth and actually talk to him this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to anyway, but this year, I really want to. I just want to thank him, and just go speak to him and thank him for, being an inspiration for me and being. Just being Oliver, being the Green Arrow, a character who I identify with quite a lot, and things like that. I just want to thank him and speak to him personally, because I said this in a video which I've just recorded and just thrown up. Without Arrow and without Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I know that sounds really existential, but I wouldn't be. I honestly wouldn't be. Arrow has been such a huge influence on my life. It's been such a huge part of my life. Without Arrow and without Stephen Amell and his interpretation of Oliver Queen, I would not be the person I am today, and that's the honest truth. So yeah. It's
just I don't think I've felt this depressed about a show finishing since probably Banshee. Like when I heard that was going to get its final season, and then before that it was Breaking Bad. Like ever since those two, I've not had a show where it's been like, oh, it's ending, and I've been really worked up about it. I mean, even with Daredevil. With that, when I found out
I think we were more angry about Daredevil.
We were angry about it, but I think I was content because we just had season 3 and it wrapped everything up so well that I was like, do you know what? If this is it, I'm happy. I'm content. It wasn't
as bad as Iron Fist when it got cancelled.
That was more pure rage. That was like me just going at Netflix like, you bastards.
Yeah,
but
at least Daredevil ended, and the Punisher as well. Punisher ended.
Yeah. But I guess this is the most somber one since Banshee, because again, like those other two shows that I mentioned with Breaking Bad and Banshee, Arrow has also played a huge part in my life, and it's impacted me so much. I think for me that's the difference between like you ordinary show that you'll tune on every now and then and a TV show that you absolutely love, is that when you see that it's ending, that an end point is coming, and you feel something towards it. That's the difference, and that's what Arrow's been able to do. And the fact that it's been able to do that for 7+ years is ridiculous, and the fact it's managed to do that even with seasons as awful as season 3 and season 4, I think is a testament to how good it has been as a show. It's like, man, I'm gonna miss it. I'm just gonna miss it so much. Also, when that's gone, what the fuck are we gonna call this podcast? Because the title will be irrelevant.
I know.
Oh god.
Well, I think we keep it in pure respect.
We keep it in honor of Arrow.
Yeah,
just like the title says.
It'll always be the best. It'll always be the best, and it'll always have a place in our hearts. I mean, like you say, I've never really experienced anything like this. I've never really experienced, a show that I love so dearly ending, because TV for me is a fairly recent thing. I've only started watching TV properly in a couple of years, and I've said this before. Arrow was the first proper TV show I ever watched, which is why I have such an attachment to it. And why I hold it to such a high bar is because it was like the first proper thing I ever really saw. I actually, before we started recording this, I just watched the season 5 finale again because I had to go and I had to go soak myself up, and so I watched my favorite episode of all time, and wow, that episode's amazing. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend like too much time on this because we have got all the episodes to review as well, but I just don't want to stop talking about it either. But yeah, I mean, like, going back to iZombie, like, that's a show I really like. And when they announced that season 5 was going to be its final season, I was sad.
But you really expected it.
Yeah, and also, like, but I wasn't like, I was like, okay, I can accept it. But with this, I'm like, I'm really sad. I'm really sad.
I mean, especially when it's the first show you watch, you always got that attachment to it. Yeah. So when you know it's ending, it's, I completely get it.
And, like, in terms of like other things, like when I was watching, have you seen Stephen Amell's live post on Facebook?
Oh, yeah. To be honest, I cried watching that because, like, you could tell how hard it was for him, even though he's known for so long. Like, that was painful to get through.
That was like, I was crying so much. It was me, like, when Quentin died, I was, like, full on board.
Yeah.
And, like, Arrow, in terms of, like, being an inspiration as well, like, I took up archery because of Arrow. I do archery, and I'm quite good at it as well. And that's, again, thanks to Arrow. And we wouldn't be doing this podcast without Arrow.
No.
I would not have my channel without Arrow. So, that's how big of an influence Arrow is on my life. Like I said, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have, without Heroes and Villains, me and you may have never met in person.
Yeah.
Like, Arrow has done so much, and it's the spawn of everything. And, without it, we would never got the Arrowverse. All of you fanboy Flash fans out there, you would have never have got your show without Arrow. And yeah, I just, all I have to say is thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to the entire cast, the crew, the showrunners, the executives at the CW, and thank you, Arrow. And that is all.
I've got enough emotional energy to actually continue with the rest of the podcast.
Come on, Hoss.
Come on, we got to get through it.
Okay, can we at least get one more Hoss before the show ends, please?
Yeah, I need another
season.
Yeah.
I was watching the season 5 finale. There's a couple in that. We haven't had a single Hoss this season. It's really annoying. Can we please get another Hoss? And also, can we please get like at least one more appearance of Susanna Thompson before the show ends, please? Or Colin Donnell, or Paul Blackthorne, Ragman.
I reckon that a lot of them are going to come back for the final season. I reckon they will.
Yeah, to be honest, I really want Susanna Thompson to come back.
Yeah.
Because every time Moira returns, it's such a fantastic moment. Like, watching that season.
Yeah, the season 5 finale.
That scene is a powerhouse.
Mm.
And again, like, because Susanna Thompson is such a brilliant actress. I would love to see her return. And again, get Paul Blackthorne back. Bring back, Colin Donnell as Tommy. Because, all these characters, especially like Tommy was a huge influence on Oliver and things like that. We need to get all these things. Anyway, I think we need to move on before we go into a before I hang myself live on camera. So, in regards to the Arrowverse this week, though, in regards to the shows, a very strong week. Very, very strong week. I was all the shows were really good this week. So, and that even includes Supergirl. I have to say, I really liked this episode of Supergirl, and I'll tell you why.
Manchester Black.
This is his episode, and he rocks it. David Ajala is brilliant.
You're only saying this because he liked your tweet and commented on it.
I've been singing his praises all season. He just took notice of it. That's all I'm saying. And we're busy mates, right? But he is so good. His line delivery, just the way he acts, the way he performs the role, it's so nuanced and so real, and I love it. Like there's a specific line that I love, and specific little delivery. It's a tiny little moment, but it's when when he's filming himself and he's like broadcasting to the world, and Menagerie says, "Oh, really downward angle," and he simply goes, "What?" Like it's such a I can't really repeat it in the same way, but it's just like the way he delivered it was so British in a way. It was so British because that's the thing. Manchester Black is obviously a British character, but yeah, we got introduced to the Elite in this episode, and I really liked that. Again, being led by Manchester Black, he was awesome. Menagerie, who we met last week or 2 weeks before, aka Venom, he was fine in this episode. What did you think of the hat?
I quite liked him, to be honest.
I thought he was fun.
Yeah, he was really
I don't know
fun.
what accent they were doing. I don't know what accent that was supposed to be, but other than that, I thought he was really funny. Like, because he just has this magical hat that just has, like, he pulls like a Tommy gun out of it at one point.
That's the fifth dimension for you, son.
Yeah, that was really fun. Like the hat was just an interesting character. It was kind of entertaining. But yeah, it was really cool. I enjoyed having him.
I gotta say, I'm loving the new hair of his. That purple hair is beautiful.
See, the thing is, like, they've basically given him the comic accurate look, and it's when I saw his look in the comics for the first time, like when they first announced that Manchester Black was coming to the show, I was like, that's a difficult look, but he pulls it off, man. Like,
man pulls it off. He pulls it off beautifully.
Mans looks good with that purple hair and the Union Jack Kevlar. He looks good. And yeah, honestly, he's the MVP of this episode. He's so good. I loved all that. And our boy Sam Witwer returns.
Oh, he's finally back. I mean, he was back in the episode 2 weeks ago, but here he's proper back. Yeah, he's properly back, son.
He's back in the world. We get to see him. He's now what, like the Secretary of Defense?
Yeah,
for the presidents. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I think clearly what they're trying to set up this season now is that the government's corrupt.
Yeah.
And this is what they're doing now.
As if it wasn't ever before in any of these shows.
Yeah. I mean, we always have to deal with a corrupt government, or in Arrow, it's always the police force is corrupt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a cool idea, though, for Supergirl, just to kind of go down this route, especially because, again, Agent Liberty, such a strong character.
Yeah. And then that scene at the end with that guy who tries to oppose him, and he just beats the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Kills him, man. Man's a little bit crazy.
He is a bit. He got a bit of an Adrian Chase twitch in his eye.
Oh, I saw. To be honest, that's what it reminded me of. I saw him afterwards, and he's just like, oh, I see that little bit of Adrian in there, and that just made me cry because I'm like, can we have 38 Adrian Chase? We were denied it in that episode. We had his father right there. You could have had Adrian Chase just show up for one scene. Just even have a photo of him. Just have a photo of Josh Segarra and be like, that's my boy.
That was it's so weird. I'm still not over that. The fact that actually happened. It's so weird. I was again watching that season 5 finale earlier. Oh, good memories. Good memories of Adrian Chase. Just some of his lines in that episode are just brilliant. Oh, I miss him so much. But yeah, I think that having Agent Liberty back in this episode, just again, adds a bit more presence because I love Sam Witwer. I actually found out, I didn't realise this. I don't know how I didn't realise this. I didn't know that Sam Witwer was the lead in Days Gone. Yeah,
he was the lead in Days Gone. I always knew because the face of the main character, I remember in the E3 demo, I was like, that looks like Sam Witwer. I searched online.
I watched a video. I guess it's because I wasn't, when Days Gone was first kind of announced, I wasn't really aware of Sam Witwer. But now that I am aware of him, I think I was watching Robin Gaming's video, and I saw it. I was like, "Is that Sam Witwer?" I had to look it up, and it was. And also, I realized as well, Sam Witwer was the main character in Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. I'm just finding out Sam Witwer's in loads of shit that I like. I didn't even know.
God damn.
He was Starkiller. Anyway, but yeah, I love Sam Witwer on the show. I'm glad he's back. So I'm kind of unprepared this week because I left all my notes downstairs, so I'm kind of winging this. So what else happened in this episode? We had Nia and Brainy training.
In the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah. Brainy was great as always. I liked his little beef with Kalex. He called it a Kleenex.
Yeah.
that's a good line. I like the fact they just kind of like argue with each other. And just the fact, and also Brainy is like the smartest character in this universe because Nia asks him about her future and he doesn't tell her very clever. It sounds very, very dumb, but if that was Barry, damn, he would have been like taking it to the future.
Oh yeah, it would have messing up that timeline even more. It'd just be like, oh,
Yeah, man,
perfect chance.
That timeline. But no, Brainy was actually smart. But yeah, I mean, training Nia, we kind of been waiting for this just so like we can actually get this sort of done, so we can actually have Nia out in the field and we can believe it. So that was fine. I enjoyed all that.
Yeah, the sonic blast that she gets from is totally BS though. Like I saw that and I was just like, nah, I'm not having that.
That's the thing though. We have a new calcified Speed Force energy now.
Oh
I can't remember what
god.
the exact name was, but it was, let's just call it calcified Dream Energy. That's basically what Brainy says when she fires it. So yeah,
God's sake.
because we all thought, oh yeah, what's her power? She can't really fight. Oh, she could just like, yeah, basic just energy out of her hands.
God's sake.
The most generic power of any superhero ever. But yeah, I think that this episode overall was really strong. Like, I came out of this episode being like, that was really good. I remember coming out of it just thinking that was really fun. I enjoyed that. I thought it was awesome. And it's not the best episode of the season because that still goes to episode 3.
Episode 3. I don't think anything will top episode 3, to be perfectly honest. I don't think anything.
Episode 3 is the best episode of Supergirl, period.
Yeah, I don't think anything is going to top episode 3 unless you have Manchester Black and Agent Liberty in the episode, which we had here, but you just make those two the main characters. Maybe that would contend with it, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, this leaves me with a lot more confidence for the rest of the season. I
think Supergirl. I know you're a bit more negative on it than me, but I genuinely think that Supergirl has quite drastically improved in the back half. Like, ever since episode 10, I think it has stepped up. I genuinely.
Yeah, I just fear what they're going to do with this whole, Red Kara situation, because the thing I'm really worried about is that they're going to try and do a load of shit with Agent Liberty and Manchester Black now, and then they're just going to randomly shove in Red Kara for like the last 5 or 6 episodes, and it'll feel so
with her. And it's this is episode what, 14, 13?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're going to do Red Kara, who I think we all thought was going to be the big bad. Like,
that's what they were saying, wasn't it? I swear they were saying like Red Kara was the big bad of the season. And it's like, oh, but she's not going to be that big a presence in the first half of the season. I'm like, well, we're getting to episode 14 right now, and we have still not had anything substantial with her.
Yeah, it's quite... I genuinely think they are just going to weasel her in at the end, and that'll be it. And, I mean, the thing is, from what we've seen of her, it's not like she got much personality, but it's just like... It just feels a bit wasted, really. They could have done something with her, like maybe her... Because it's hard to talk about it as well because we still don't know anything about her. Like, we still don't know who she is, where she came from. Because I was gonna say, if she has got no personality, we could do like a storyline where she's like becoming human and where she's learning how to become a human and do like human connections and things like that. But we're not gonna have time for that.
No.
So yeah, I think this whole Red Daughter thing's gonna be wasted. I kind of want them to just scrap it and do a win and just leave it till next season.
Yeah, just do that. Just do that, please.
Just pull a win and just be like, we'll sort it out next season.
Or do a mono and just be like, fuck that shit, they ain't coming back.
just focus on Agent Liberty and Manchester Black, because I'm sure Manchester Black is going to join the good side at the end.
Yeah, because I find that more interesting with having Agent Liberty, who's this person who's completely against any form of aliens, and then you have Manchester Black, who's someone who he's going against Agent Liberty, the Children of Liberty, except he does it in a more, reckless manner, and having Kara be the middle figure of that. Yeah. I think that is far more interesting than just having Red Kara and Supergirl just smacking it against each other. Like, that Civil War idea is really interesting. Yeah. That's really interesting to me. I just pray to God that they don't just kind of make it big for these episodes and then shove that aside and then try and make all of a sudden, Red Kara be this huge thing and this huge antagonist.
I've just figured out the rest of this season.
Oh God, tell me now then.
So Sam Witwer is now Ben Lockwood. He's now in government working with that corrupt, racist alien president.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We know that Red Kara is connected to the government in some way because, they were phoned up by the Soviets and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Lena. Now been recruited. Also, James has nothing to do in this episode, as we predicted. But yeah, obviously Lena's going to help with all that. She's going to give it all the powers it needs with the Hironel. Government and Ben are going to use that. Are going to use Red Kara essentially as a weapon to eliminate all aliens.
God's sake. So basically, Red Cora is nothing more
than a blank weapon yet.
Oh my god!
Yep.
I should have seen this coming. I should have seen it.
End of the season. You heard it here first. So yeah, overall though, I was really impressed with this episode. Really impressed. I came out of it thinking, wow, that was really good, and like that was like something I did not expect for Supergirl. I actually woke up early for this episode, and I was like, do I watch this or do I watch The Walking Dead? Because that's on Monday nights there, or on Monday mornings. They're my two choices. And I thought, you know what? I was going to watch The Walking Dead, but I thought, you know what? Let's watch.
No. Walking Dead's been disappointing so far this second half of the season.
Oh, I disagree. I heavily disagree.
No. Look. Next episode looks interesting, but this first half hasn't been as good.
No, I heavily disagree.
Oh, anyway, I'll fight you, man. I'll fight you, bro.
But I watched Supergirl and I came away thinking, you know what? That was great. So yeah, good episode of Supergirl on the whole. Now,
yeah, it's all right. It's a good episode. A bit, but to be honest, considering the episodes we've had this season, it's not really got a lot of competition, has it?
No.
It's only really got episode 3.
Yeah, and that is a pretty high bar because it's just Sam Witwer it around. So now we have The Flash, which actually delivered its first good episode in a long time.
Oh, very long time. And the fact was, it was complete filler.
Complete filler. But I noticed an interesting parallel. This is episode 15.
Oh yeah,
15
and
last
episode
season
was the best episode of the season.
Everyone will agree that episode was complete filler, but it was the best episode of season 4. Everyone will agree with that. And again, episode 15 here, complete filler, but it's one of the best episodes of the season. I'd probably say second best under the premiere.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, even better than 100th episode.
That amazing 100th episode. Yeah. That incredible 100th episode that we all love.
Yeah, that god tier episode that everyone's automatically forgot, unlike the Arrow 100th episode, which everybody cried over.
Yeah.
Like a baby.
Don't leave me.
Don't leave me.
But anyway, we have The Flash, Season 5, Episode 15, King Shark versus Gorilla Grodd. This was teased in the premiere, I believe, when Nora basically just said it was going to happen. I mean, we kind of knew about it before that because Todd Helbing basically just said it on the Comic-Con panel. He was like, "Oh yeah, if we have the money, we'll do it." So if you've been wondering where all the budget's gone this season, here you go. So first thing I kind of want to talk about is King Shark. They add a lot of humanity to King Shark in this episode. They do a lot with him, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't actually know that King Shark could turn into a human. I didn't actually know that. So like when I saw like this photo of like this guy who that was like, I was like, is that King Shark? Yeah, it is. So they basically come up with this idea that okay, the metahuman cure is done, it's finished. We need a test subject, so they get King Shark. So we bring in the lovely Lila. Lila is in this episode.
Oh, that was good to see.
That was amazing, and she gets to do a lovely little sly dig at Barry as well, which I really enjoyed. Did you catch that when she like basically brings up Flashpoint?
Oh yeah,
that was good. And they get to speak to King Shark, and they bring back Tanya Landon as well, who was in like season 2.
But she was recast.
Yeah. And she's been studying with King Shark, talking to him, trying to keep him human because he's becoming more shark than man. But King Shark, yeah, he really impressed me in this episode. Like he was really interesting. I mean, it actually made me feel quite sorry for him.
Yeah, and that was surprising because I mean, before and you kind of just looked at him as the CGI character, just like, it's just CGI shark. But like you say, the way that they made you care about him in this episode, I think was really well done, especially for like only doing it for one episode because I don't think we'll see him again for the rest of the season.
No.
So I think the way they did it here was fantastic, and I thought that the actual actor they got to play him in his human form was really good. My only one upset was that it wasn't David Hayter who voices King Shark, just because it would have been cool seeing Solid Snake on The Flash.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, and I think, like I say, I was really impressed with how I was able to feel sorry for King Shark and just to be able to actually feel some sympathy towards him, because again, like you say, he was pretty much just a big CGI character before this, so to actually add some humanity to him, if we do ever see him again, we can be like, oh, yeah, that guy. He actually has a heart. So that was really good. And I thought the actress who played Tanya Landon was really good as well.
Yeah.
And I actually bought their romance. The fact that like this was like a 1 episode thing, I think they did. I think they actually pulled it off really well.
Yeah.
And I like the idea that, because basically, if you don't know, like Tanya Landon was, she was married to the Earth 1 version of who King Shark is. So like, she sees this guy who is the Earth 2 doppelganger, and the fact they kind of formed this bond, I thought was really cool. Do you know what? I've seen somebody bring this up on Twitter, and it's so right. The reaction that Tanya has to seeing King Shark in his human form is the reaction that Black Siren should have had when she first met Oliver.
Yeah.
Yep. Just saying.
That's I agree completely.
Just saying. Anyway, Grodd shows up. We have Grodd in this episode, of course. I always find it fun when Grodd shows up. I always enjoy Grodd. Just because he always creates just these fun episodes. Like, even when he was on Legends in season 3, he always created these fun episodes. But he shows up, he's kind of wreaking havoc. I thought it was kind of convenient how he got out, but whatever.
Yeah, that did feel very convenient. Like, because to be honest, one of the questions I already had for Legends season 3 was, what happened to Grodd? Because we saw him get defeated by the Legends, and we never saw him again afterwards.
So apparently, I think what happened was, at the
Time Bureau sent him back.
Bureau back to Argus. Yeah, Time Bureau took him back to Argus, so now he's been in Argus. But yeah, I enjoyed seeing Grodd again because like I say, I always enjoy Grodd. And then we also had, I guess we could just talk about the fight, because I mean, this is, to be fair, I have to say, for TV, this looked amazing. Like, this fight was so good. And again, obviously, it's not the best CGI in the world, but it's not gonna be. And like, given the fact this is TV and you're looking at this, it looks incredible, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with the Flash, we're always like, we were always dead mean to it when it's got bad CGI. We always take the mick out of it.
Yeah,
but
it's nice to actually appreciate it for once.
Yeah, but yeah, got to give props up. Like, I think similar to how I felt, about the Gorilla City 2-part one that had some pretty damn impressive CGI. I feel the same way to this, because I mean, you've got two big CGI characters going against each other, and I made the joke before, and that it'd just be like the end fight of Venom, where it's just two pieces of CGI slapping against each other.
Yeah.
But for two pieces of CGI slapping against each other, the detail in it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But no, I just think the CGI in general fantastic, and people can whinge and moan and be like, "Oh, it's not good." Like, considering the budget that these shows have, it's nowhere near the level of something like what Game of Thrones, where it has like 20 mil an episode.
Yeah.
This ain't near that level. And for what they have and for what they have to work with, I think they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, I thought it was really well handled. And we got to see all of that glorious CGI-ness in that fight. And yeah, I mean, it was CGI, but it was very, very heavy CGI. But what could I say? It was fun. It was fun to watch. It was entertaining. And I enjoyed it. I think it was a really good way to kind of just this episode. And one thing I didn't realize, King Shark is big.
Yeah,
like he's much bigger than Grodd.
Yeah, I always thought that him and Grodd, either Grodd was a little bit bigger or they were the same size. But wow,
like King Shark is much bigger than Grodd, and I like the fact because before this fight, like we have King Shark in his human form, and he basically makes the decision himself to be a hero and to kind of, repent and to actually. What am I looking for?
To redeem himself,
to
and so
himself, to kind of redeem his actions as King Shark by saving the citizens of Central City by taking down Grodd, was really great, and the fact that he was able to actually make that decision himself, and it wasn't cancelled, he chose to end it itself,
Stop! You're trying to make me cry with this, but it's not going to work. You're crying yourself saying these things. I bet you got a little tear in your eye, haven't you, when you saw Quentin die, just like that.
I've had a tear in my eye all episode. But yeah, I like the fact that he was like, right, let's go do this, and he comes out and they have their big fight. It was just really cool. And also I have to say, I mean, I don't give Barry a lot of credit for his lines, but "Long live the King" was a great way to end the fight.
Oh,
that was
brilliant.
That was a good
brilliant
line. Really good line. And also, one thing I will say before we move on to the other sort of storyline in the episode is Nora wasn't annoying in this.
Yeah, but that's probably because she wasn't the main character for once.
She was actually a side character for once. Also, where was Ralph?
Yeah,
where was Ralph? I missed Ralph in this episode.
I always miss Ralph when he's not there.
I love Ralph. But the best part about this episode, our boy Jesse L.
Joe, he's finally back. He's back.
He's back. Our boy
is back. And what's the first thing he does? He sits down.
Oh, I missed him though. I missed him so much.
Yeah.
And we made an interesting correlation, I think, in the last episode where we said that this season went to shit when Joe left.
Yeah, and
the episode comes back,
what are the coincidences? What are the coincidences?
Yeah.
Oh
look
my
at
god!
this, Joe returns in this episode. Look at the gold we got.
I mean, I've got to be honest. This side plot, to be honest, it was just a lot of recycling what had happened this season. That was basically what it was. It was just basically getting Joe up to date with what's happened. So in that regard, I guess you could say that that it was a disappointing, it was a boring story arc. But I don't care. Joe was bad.
I don't think it was boring. I actually think it had I actually thought it had really nice character moments. Iris and Joe. To actually, again, take Iris away from the main story and actually just put her in a bit more of a quiet sort of thing, and give Joe some really nice, Papa Joe moments.
Yeah.
Just letting Papa Joe be Papa Joe, and I think he did a really good job of
yeah.
And they addressed the Wally situation, which again still kind of annoys me.
Yeah, and he also brings up the point about how he thinks that Cicada has to be working with someone else.
Yeah, I love the fact.
Which hopefully,
I remember watching the episode and watching that. He figures that out within 5 minutes.
And I'm like, the team of scientists can't figure this out in the 11 episode gap that you've been gone in between.
Yeah, and Mans just figures it out in 1 minute.
That's just Joe for you. Joe is just the best.
That is why he is the best detective.
I'm just waiting for him to become the Flash this season, just like Iris last time.
What colour lightning would he have?
Brown.
Brown. The most boring colour of all time. It'd be like James May becoming a speedster.
No, actually, give him pink.
Beautiful. Fabulous. Wow.
Fabulous.
Exactly. Oh. Even seeing Joe Barrowman in that finale. Oh,
yeah.
That is a brilliant death he gets as well. Although he might not be dead. Wally, I have to say, when's Wally coming back? He's meant to have 2 more appearances this season. Where is he? I'm asking
Maybe
you,
they say,
where is he? Tell me where he is.
I don't know. Where is Wally? Where's Wally? I don't know.
He's into bed.
I don't know.
So...
Well, somebody go dig Kean Lonsdale out of a little hut in Tibet where he's probably fending himself off against an abominable snowman.
Somebody call Arthur Darville to go pick him up because we need him. But I like the fact
but you're forgetting Rip Hunter's dead, fam.
Oh yeah, good point. Oh, I was thinking of Careless Whisper, best scene of Legend season 3. But yeah, I like the fact that they addressed Wally and just mentioned him because it was nice. But I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, like I say, this episode, what I really liked about it was the fact that even though it's completely filler, well, for the most part, it does kind of link in with the Cure a little bit, but what I really liked about it was it just felt really fresh and nice just to step away from the main story.
Yeah.
Just to
step away from the piece of absolute crap that is Cicada.
Yeah, exactly. Every episode is Cicada.
Cicada, we almost stop him, we don't stop him. Yeah. He flies away with his vague, unexplained power.
It was nice for once just to actually just do something different.
Take a breather and actually focus on something different, which was actually good, yeah.
It was refreshing. And again, just having Joe back, it's so good to have him back.
Yeah.
Having, again, actually developing and giving King Shark quite a bit of humanity. A character who, for the name King Shark, you wouldn't expect that.
No.
Also, King Shark has just been announced for the new Suicide Squad movie directed by James Gunn. So that's cool.
So that basically means he'll never show up in The Flash again.
Yep. Good thing he got a good wrap up.
Yeah.
Also, just having Lila, nice touch. Also, I actually really like the conflict between Cisco, Barry, and Caitlin in this episode.
Yeah, that was good. I really liked that because it didn't feel it wasn't like that forced stupid drama in between them. It felt like a good ethical conflict because Barry used the Cure on a situation where I think us as an audience and him genuinely thought Cisco was going to die.
Yeah.
And it's that debate again about was he right to do it? And I just
it was an actual real conflict, a real issue that they had to tackle, and they actually tackled it in a good way with good writing, rather than just them kind of shouting at each other.
Yeah,
there was actually a good sort of argument to it. So I think this was such a strong episode.
Yeah,
second best of the season for me, just under the premiere.
I'd say so as well. To be honest, I'm actually looking forward to next episode only because it might seem as if we're finally getting rid of Cicada. I pray to God, if I see that man either get out of the scenario with Nora, like zooming in saying no, or does that magic fly off, I will genuinely throw something at my TV. Because I've had it up to here with the amount of times that it's happened. So just please, get rid of him in this episode. Do whatever you want to do with Reverse Flash. Just get it over and done with.
Godspeed.
Give us Godspeed. Maybe Godspeed is the savior of this season. Maybe the meme that is Godspeed, he's the man who can save this season. Maybe he's the missing link to all of this.
I mean, we didn't do a show. We didn't do a show last week because there was just nothing to talk about.
Oh yeah. Damn, we didn't mention that, did we?
Well, the only big news that came out last week, and it was pretty big news. So much so that I didn't believe it was going to be true, and I said I'd shave my head if it was true.
Why is that shaved head up, by the way?
That's why I'm bald right now. And
you're not bald though. Anybody who's seen your video on Arrow,
no,
unless you got an incredibly good toupee on your head.
No, I deleted the tweet. You can't prove anything.
I can prove everything. I got a screenshot of it.
Do you know what's funny though? Loads of people screenshotted it, and like people send me the screenshots.
Exactly.
Loads of like my followers have screenshot.
Exactly. Anyway, so man's
Godspeed's coming to the show in episode.
You got nowhere to hide. Nowhere to hide.
Yeah, I mean, so anyway, the news was Godspeed is officially coming to the show in episode 18. We don't know to what extent. We don't know what's going on. It seems to be like that episode is taking place in 2049. So Godspeed is very much a threat from the future. So he could just be a one-episode villain. He could be recurring. We don't really know. But he is in episode 18. And episode 18 is actually called Godspeed as well. And it's directed by Danielle Panabaker, so pretty big episode. And I have to say, the suit looks great. Like, it looks really good. I will say. Like, I was a bit worried about the Godspeed suit, because I thought that's going to be a difficult one to translate, because it's just all white. It's going to look really cheesy, but it actually looks pretty good. I'm just interested to see what they do with him, and like how much they actually use him. Because I've said this before, but like, and loads of people have said this as well, Godspeed isn't that big of a character in the comics, and I can actually state to this, because even though I haven't read much comics, I have actually read Flash Rebirth. It's one of the ones I have read, so I have read all the Godspeed stuff, and he's not that big of a character. He's cool, and he has a minor role, but it's nothing substantial. So like when people say, oh, we need Godspeed as the season 6 big bad, no we don't. I think if you put him in like this back half of the season,
that's all right.
That's
fine. Yeah.
That works, and
I just don't think his story arc and what his character what his like motives are based off in the comics. Like you say, I just can't see how they could stretch that for 22 episodes. It would feel so forced, just like how it already is with Cicada. Yeah. Like with Godspeed, it'd be the same problem. So, like you say, they sneak him into these last, 4 or 5 episodes. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him having that kind of arc because I feel like that's a long enough arc for what his character motive is.
Yeah, I just hope that they really do get rid of Cicada in this episode.
Yeah, just please. Just could he just F off?
One of the promo photos, no, it's not a promo photo, it's just a moment from the trailer, is we see Cicada unmasked fighting Barry. And that's when something clicked with me. One of the biggest problems with Cicada this season, and like I said, this just clicked with me like yesterday. There's no personal connection at all between Barry and Cicada. They've never spoke face to face. Which we've always had that with the other villains. We've always, with Eobard Thawne, it was there. Zoom, it was there. Savitar took a while, but we got there. Thinker had it from very, very early on. Like, that's one of the best things about the Thinker was his connection to Barry. We've just never had that. The only character who's actually interacted with Cicada was Iris, and that scene was a complete mess up.
Oh, that scene was just a complete meme.
Yeah, like, it was supposed to be this really awesome moment we were all looking forward to where Iris confronts Cicada. No, it was just her pretending like she didn't know who it was. And then we get to see Chris Klein making all those faces. Pretending to be cool when he sees a girl at a party. I'm so proud of that meme. Especially the meme I followed up with the picture of Colton Haynes next to it as well, who wore it better. It was just, that was a good week of Arrowverse memes. Bad week for the shows, but good week for memes. But overall, yeah, really good episode. Really good episode of The Flash. And hopefully they can continue this and just end the season well. Hopefully this is an Arrow Season 6 situation, where the first half of the season was not great, and the back half fixes it all.
Yeah, no. Like, can we just quickly elaborate? The back half of Arrow season 6 did not fix the first half. I'm sorry, fam.
It didn't fix that premiere alone.
It didn't fix that premiere in it by itself. Fuck no.
See, again, I keep bringing up that season 5 finale, but after watching it again, it just reminds me how disappointing that season 6 premiere was.
Yeah.
It's so. They had so much opportunity to just do some cool shit, and they just didn't.
No.
Anyway, let's move over to Arrow season 7, episode 14. Yeah, quite a big episode for the Ghost Initiative.
Yeah. I gotta say, though, I've watched this episode again, and I think my overall view of it, I actually think I didn't like the episode as much on my second viewing. I still think it's a good episode, but I don't think I was as impressed with it as the first time around.
Yeah, to be honest, when I finished watching it, I said to myself, yeah, that was good, but this kind of came across as one of the lower tier episodes of the
yeah.
season. It felt to me like episode 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. It felt very much like that in terms of, like, it wasn't bad or anything, but it was like it was good, it was decent, but it wasn't like to the level of, I don't know, like obviously episode 7 or episode 1 or episode 5 or episode 13. It wasn't at that level.
No.
And that's the problem, is that Arrow has been so good this season. You kind of setting those expectations for yourself, and when they're not met, it's kind of like, it's all right, but it's just not there. That's it with this episode. But even with that said, there are still some really good bits to it. It's just that I felt like there were also quite a few things that just really bugged me. But we will get into them. We will get into them.
So we did have, Lila was in this episode as well. Lila had quite a big presence in the Arrowverse this week. Never turned that down. The Ghost Initiative were kind of fully launched in this, and we get to see them actually go out on a mission, which was really cool. I have to say, they don't really get as much shine as I thought they were going to, given how much they were spoken about beforehand, and how it was promoted.
Because it seems it's
the only one, really.
Yeah, because it seems as if with this episode, they basically just say, oh no, F the Ghost Initiative. That's what they're basically saying. It's like, oh no, it's... So what, we only see them for 2 episodes, and that's it?
Yeah.
Like, that's just stupid for me. Like, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, especially when it's especially with someone like Kane Wolfman, who everybody really wanted to see back, and then it's like, oh yeah, we'll tease him in world, and then we'll bring him back for a few episodes, and then have him back in 14 for like what, 10 minutes, and it's just like, oh nah, no Ghost Initiative, not happening. It's like, he gets a cool fight, but like that's literally it. Like, there's no actual, like, it's none of it in season 7 has been as good as his stuff in season 6.
No, his stuff is his 2 episodes in season 6 easily outdo everything he's done here so far.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, it's just I am kind of disappointed with the Ghost Initiative a little bit. Even though it was all cool stuff, it wasn't enough of it. And like China White, who is a character who has a big history within Arrow, didn't have much to do. Cupid, I'm not asked about, but
but fuck Cupid. Cupid could have just died, and then they just turned around half. Like, all right, gonna bring in someone from Slabside, and then they get Bronze Tiger, and I would have been like, beautiful.
Where is he?
I know. Where is he?
What is he?
Where is he? Can we please have him as a series regular for season 8, and it's just him and Oliver out on the streets, please?
Oh my god! China White back on this show.
Oh god,
he's still been one of the He was only in like 7 episodes, but he's been the standout. He's been
like, easily.
Episode 7. I need to go watch episode 7 again. This was like, I just felt a bit disappointed with the Ghost Initiative. I mean, Diaz was really good though in this episode. I think Diaz got some really good moments. Like some of the lines he got to say, like, you know when he talked about like that informant for Dante, he's like, he's like, oh, this is the guy Diaz met before, and Diaz just goes, nice guy. You just get like good moments like that. You get a lot of good moments. Where he like winks at the members and stuff like that. Just proves again why I think Diaz is just such a good villain, such a good character. I know he's a bit of a controversial villain. Like, some people like him, some people don't.
The only people that don't like him are Felicity fans because they don't like Kirk Acevedo for no reason. That's basically it.
Yeah, no, he's amazing, and also he's just an absolute lad on Twitter. But yeah, I think the Ghost Initiative were a bit disappointing given the fact they are probably gone now. But you know, it was fun to see like China White again and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I just really hope we see Kane Wolfman again. But then again, given where Arrow's going, I don't think so.
No,
I think that's it now.
Yeah, it's a shame because I really wanted to see more of them as well. Just because, like I said, they made such a big deal about it, and then it's like they have kind of like 2 cameo appearances in episodes, and then they're over and done with. Which I just don't feel like is enough. We needed to get more than that. So Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying.
Maybe we'll finally get that Arrow Suicide Squad spin-off. Maybe.
Maybe. We can only dream.
Yeah, but then what I really like though is that obviously we had to have this moment where Diggle goes and tells Oliver and Felicity that he's working with Diaz. And what I love about this is that Felicity instantly freaks out, as Felicity does, and starts having to go at John. And she was annoying in this episode.
But John, Oliver.
But what I love is that Oliver's on John's side. I love the fact that he takes Diggle's side on this.
Brothers in arms, fam. That's exactly what it is.
Brothers in arms, and he's literally just like, I think we literally Felicity's about to freak out, and Oliver just goes, I think we need to hear what John has to say. I was like, yes, Oliver. And then he's just like, if John feels like he's doing the right thing, we stick by him. And I was like, yes, Oliver. Yes, we do. Oliver is digging it, Felicity was not. Felicity was annoying in this episode, I thought.
She was one of the things I didn't like about the episode. Like, this reminded me so much of season 4 Felicity at times, just because of how stupid and reckless she was. Like, I want to
murder Diaz.
I know. It's like, what? It's like, where did this come from?
Yeah, it's like, I'm just gonna blow him up.
I know. Is this what Haven Rocks had done to it?
Yeah. It's just like he was literally like just sat there like, I've hacked into his brain, so I'm gonna blow his head off. Operation Blow the Head Off the Dragon is a go. That is a legit line in this episode. And that line would have been better had it have come from any other character. But what I loved about this whole thing with Felicity, well, not loved, but loved from another character's perspective, was the fact that Laurel, this is Black Siren, this is someone who used to be a supervillain who's killed loads of people. It's just like, isn't this a bit drastic? Like, are you is it really worth it? Is it really worth the cost? Because like Felicity gets this idea in her head that she's like, oh, Diaz is free. He's not free. And even Laurel brings that up. She's just like, no, he's still under Argus custody. Like, if anything goes wrong, Argus will blow him up. That's Argus's job, not yours. And I like the fact that even like Laurel had to point this out to her. Like, Felicity was just really dumb and stupid in this episode. Really stupid. And it's a shame because I feel like, Felicity is a character who they've been really trying to regain ground back. And this season, I think she's been a bit up and down this season, to be honest. And this episode is definitely one of the downs. It wasn't great. But at least we did get some, Felicity Laurel moments. Like, Laurel just instantly knows that she's pregnant. Like, I thought that was really good. Like, Laurel finds out before Oliver does.
Damn.
So Oliver does find out. So our potential theory about Felicity keeping the daughter a secret, that's not true. Oliver finds out in this episode. And he's pretty happy about it. He seems to be doing alright. So what else is sort of in the main story? Because we still got the flash forwards, but I feel like there's another storyline I'm completely forgetting about.
I'm trying to remember that. Oh, Oliver and Emiko. You have
Oliver and Emiko. That's the one. This episode is called Brothers and Sisters. But yeah, we get Oliver and Emiko. So yeah, Emiko's trying to, just carry on what she's doing with Hoss. But Oliver is just trying to get close to her and trying to, And what I have to say, I really like the conversation between Oliver and Renee in this episode, where Renee basically says to Oliver that Emiko is exactly the same as him in season 1. Where, think about it, if somebody came in and just stole your father's notebook out of your hand and tried to do your crusade, you would not have been happy. And it's true. It's the exact, like, Emiko is very similar to Oliver in season 1. Very, very similar. And I thought that was cool. And,
yeah, because they're very much two people who kind of just, like, with Oliver, the only person he trusted for the most part was Diggle, and then with her, it's very much, she only trusts Renee. So yeah, it's very much, you got that parallel with the two of them. Only trusting the one person, and like they're very insular about what they want, and they're very much, it's their mission, nobody else's. I do like those parallels, and like especially with what they hint with Emiko at the end of the episode is pretty cool. I think we should also mention as well, we do actually see Dante in this episode with the Ghost Initiative stuff. We actually do see Dante. Yeah,
so we finally get introduced to Dante, who is going to be our big bad for the rest of the season, I assume.
Well, we hope. I swear, I just want a big bad for the season, please.
Yeah, and if not, I'm sure we're going to be getting that and the Ninth Circle probably for season 8. Again, it depends. Like, what are they doing for season 8? Like, if it's such a short season, are they going to? Because the thing is, we've never seen any of these shows have such a short season before, so it's like I don't know how they're going to handle it story wise. But like, yeah, Dante. I have to say, I was really impressed with Dante. When he came out, because when he first came out, I was like, is this him? Because there's been such like a mystery surrounding him. Like, we don't even know what he looks like. It's not even like, someone like Prometheus or someone like that where we've always seen him, but it was like, who's under the mask? This is like, we haven't even seen him at all. So it was like, who is it? So when he showed up, I was like, is that actually Dante? And then yeah, it is. And he has this amazing fight with Oliver. And he does that amazing move at the end where he dives off that bridge backwards and throws those.
That was a little bit stupid.
It was.
That was a little bit stupid, yeah.
Yeah, but one thing I found out is that the actor who plays him is actually a professional swordsman in real life. So
swordsman.
So we get some pretty cool action sequences with him, I assume. And also he's working with Emiko. Now, before we get to that, I just want to say that like, what I found really disappointing as well is this mission where we finally meet Dante. We have Oliver teaming up with the Ghost Initiative, but Oliver's completely separate from them the entire time. I really wanted to see Oliver and Diaz working together, and we don't get any of that. They're not in the episode. Like, they're not together at all.
Yeah, but I had to save it for that Felicity conflict, though.
So annoying. At least like Diaz got to say, "Honey, we've been through this before." Like, it's the fact he called her honey. I was like, oh my god.
Only Kirk Acevedo can get away with
like,
that.
Literally, there are so many lines that Diaz gets that only he can pull off. Anybody else said it would just be so cheesy and cringy, but only he can get away with it with that voice. But yeah, I think like it was disappointing. I really wanted to see Oliver and Diaz actually having to work together.
Yeah.
But we didn't get any of that. That's a shame. But yeah, Emiko is working with Dante. This didn't massively surprise me, given her comic origin.
Yeah, because she's always been kind of a duplicitous character in terms of like her allegiances. Yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, I expected it.
Yeah, I didn't massively surprise me when he walked in, and I guess it does answer some more questions because it was kind of like we've always wondered like where was Emiko trained. And I guess it's Dante. Like we've seen how good of a fighter he is.
Yeah, but this is twice now in this season that my boy Declan has been led astray by people. He got led astray with Stanley. Got led astray with Emiko. Man thought they were good people. They're not who they seem.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't really know what's going on with Emiko yet. We don't know kind of what her reasoning is, why she's with Dante. Like, because again, we don't even know what Dante's plan is. All we know is that Dante is a bit of a bad dude. And Emiko knows him. Like she says, like, because he says, it's time for you to come home. So what does that mean?
Yeah, interesting.
I hope we get a Green Arrow on Green Arrow fight.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think that's going to happen at some point. I think that'd be really cool.
But we all know that Emiko would win because SJW.
Yeah. I really like Emiko in the suit. I think she looks really good in that suit. Like it's just her design because she has the classic look at this point with the mask.
With the mask and the hood on, whereas Oliver's obviously unmasked most of the time.
Yeah, and I actually really like the scene as well when Oliver is like arresting the guy because we actually get like Emiko's just trying to like basically just like interrogate him.
Yeah, and Oliver's trying to do it, and Oliver's just do it by the book.
Yeah, I really like the fact that he says, you're under arrest, you have the right to remain silent. Like, we actually get to see Oliver being a cop. Like, that was really interesting. It's still so weird.
He's basically just being Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
His inner Casey Jones showing right there.
I love that movie.
Maybe that's why Arrow's ending. Maybe they're actually making a sequel to it, and he's back.
They're making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cinematic universe, and Casey Jones is getting his own trilogy. Maybe that's...
I would be in for that.
I actually really like those films.
No, you only like them because of Stephen Amell.
No, I actually don't. I think
I'm
a big TMNT fan.
The first film was shocking. The second one is almost as shocking. It's not quite as shocking because of Stephen Amell. That's literally it.
See, I think the second one is awesome. I love it.
This man. I like Transformers. I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
I own it. But anyway, the other sort of storyline we had is obviously the flash forwards. Yeah, they were kind of weak. There wasn't really a lot going on. It was basically just William and Mia just bonding, really. But there is an interesting idea though, where they bring in that like William. It's obviously we've always learned from him that Oliver and Felicity abandoned him, but Oliver literally opening scene of this episode is him on the phone to William trying to talk to him, and he's not getting through. So.
Yeah.
Grandparents are evil?
Yeah, the evil grandparents. They're the real big bads of the season. It's the grandparents. It's not Dante. It's the grandparents.
Yeah, it's literally. I think obviously there's gonna be. I think there's gonna be a revelation, like in the flash forwards at some point where it's like, my grandparents blocked the number. And it's just, and it's gonna be like, oh wow, so all this drama was for nothing. Okay, okay. Yeah, we did kind of get this sort of, the big moment at the end, which, for some reason, is completely escaping my mind what that big moment was. Oh no, yeah, I remember now. So yeah, the flash forwards, nothing big happens really.
Yeah,
that's the point.
That's why it was escaping your mind, because nothing happened.
There is nothing to think of.
The only thing we really got was like there's a really confusing bit of dialogue where all of a sudden we find out that Connor Hawke is actually Diggle's adoptive son, even though originally
so confused.
Yeah, because originally he wasn't his adoptive son. It was actually like John Diggle Jr. The reason he called himself Connor Hawke was to distance himself from that.
But the thing is, John Diggle Jr. does exist.
I know.
We've seen him this season. Like, what? So who is this guy then? Who is he then? And also, when does he come into the story? Because if this isn't John Diggle Jr., if his name actually is Connor Hawke, then who is he? Where does Lila have like an affair or something? What's going on? Like,
it doesn't make sense.
Or is this JJ, and we're going to find out that JJ is literally like the son of another man, and Lila. Please don't do that to Lila. Don't do that. Lila's such a good character.
No,
don't do that to her.
No.
I'm so confused.
I think everybody is. I think everybody was just unanimously just like, what? Like it didn't.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. All these characters again. I really like this. And then he just said, oh yeah, John Diggle's my adopted father. I was like, huh? Say again? It's really confusing.
It just doesn't make sense, man. It's weird. I don't get it, man.
Like, again, I can't even talk about it because I don't know what to say about it.
I don't know.
They just forgot that JJ exists. They just forgot that John has a kid. Did they think that Flashpoint just erased him out of existence? Like, maybe I came up with an idea in my head, and this is such a stretch, right? This won't happen. But like, does this version of like this is JJ, but he finds out about Flashpoint, and he thinks that his parents are both. He considers both of his parents adoptive parents. Because he was never actually naturally born.
Well, then again, that's a little bit of a stretch, though.
It's a stretch. It's a hell of a stretch.
It's like
that is a Ralph Dibny stretch, but it's
definitely.
But again, I can't really think of anything better.
No, that's just weird, man. And then to top that all off, you've got the amazing character that is Black Star with some superb acting by Catherine McNamara. I'm really sorry, but I just don't think she's a good actress. Like, she's awful. I mean, when I've seen her acting in these last 2 episodes, it's made me really understand that in reality, her being Felicity's daughter should have been pretty fucking obvious because both of the actresses can't act for half the time.
Yeah, she's very inconsistent.
It's like she's so one note, and she's just like it's almost like it's the same problem I have with Emily Bett Rickards, where she does this thing with her voice, and it's just like it makes her, in terms of an acting standpoint, just terrible. It's just like. Speaking
of Emily,
get away from me.
Can we talk about that opening scene?
Oh my god, the opening scene.
Dreadful.
That was dreadful. Like, oh my god.
So bad.
Like I constantly try and strive for points where it's like, oh, Bet Record, she's not that bad in an episode. And it's like you give it anything dramatic and immediately it falls apart. Oh my god.
Like, just the way she's running around that forest just screaming. I was like, oh, this is bad.
Oh my god. And to say that and to say that people, like, the funny thing is, I can still remember, what was it, and the Oscars, when Brooklyn was in the running for the Oscars, and people, Olisty fans got mad because Emily Bett Rickards doesn't get nominated for Best Supporting Actress. I'm like, bruh, she's nowhere near deserving.
No.
God's sake.
Felicity not only was annoying in this episode, but yeah, the acting in that scene was pretty dreadful.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to Kirk, right? The final scene of this episode, we see Diaz back in Slabside again, and someone pours gas all over him, and then someone chucks a lighter in the cell, and he burns to a crisp. Man's a bit burnt.
Yeah, not dead though, because they didn't show a concrete dead body.
I mean, I was going on about how he was dead, but yeah, after about a day later, I realised, he's probably not dead. They didn't show a body, and also there's been no official statement that Kirk Acevedo has left the show. He's a series regular this season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think what it'll just be is that his entire body will be burnt, because you probably might not remember this, but the reason he got the name of the dragon was because, you know, that bully that he killed in that amazing solo episode of his?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically what they established was that he used to burn his arms as a kid, and because of that they got like scales on his arms from the burns, and that's how he got the name of dragon. So what I think is basically he's going to have that all over his body, and so he'll kind of fully embody the dragon. Damn. I think that's what they're going to do, because again, they haven't released anything official saying that Kirk's left, just like they did with Curtis, you know, in episode 13. You know, they had a big thing saying, "Oh, I'm gone." You know, the actor Echo Calamity, he released something, and so did, you know, Beth Schwartz. The fact they've not done anything like that for Diaz just leads me to believe he's still alive. The fact that Kirk Azevedo even put a tweet out was like, "Oh, is he dead or alive?" I was just like, yeah, he's definitely alive.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in these shows, the one thing you always, like, the golden rule is that unless you see a dead body that is not breathing, with no heartbeat at all, they are not dead. Facts.
Yeah. It's very true. Yeah. And, I mean, one thing I brought up to you is that one thing that with Diaz that really confuses me this season, because they brought it up and they've never done it again, is they gave him that weird superpower at the end of the episode where they just... So, because that superpower seems to be like a healing drug as well. Do you think he's just going to walk away from this fine because he has that drug?
I don't think he's going to walk away from it fine. I think he's definitely going to be burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, but, like... You know, I think obviously he's going to look very...
But yeah, I reckon he's...
jigsaw it from Punisher, where he's just going to look like basically the exact same.
maybe.
Like, he should have looked so much worse than he did.
Like, but like, oh no, Ben Barnes is so attractive, we can't do...
Yeah, that's the thing, like, it makes me laugh in the Punisher season 2. I mean, I love season 2 of the Punisher, but like, when he's like, every time he reveals his face to someone, everyone's like, ugh. It's like, he's still a gorgeous looking man. That is a good looking guy, regardless of his facial scar. He should look so much worse than that. But anyway, I think it'll probably be like that. It depends on how far they want to go with the makeup and stuff like that. And how much Kirk wants to kind of mess around with it. I think he'd want to go full on, to be honest.
Definitely
for it. But who do you think did it?
I saw some people saying it was Laurel, but it wouldn't make any sense because
not after this episode.
There's access to the spring. How would she have access to the sprinklers? That's the thing. So I reckon it's either Dante or it's Emiko.
Felicity.
Oh my god! Imagine if it was Felicity. No.
She could hack the prison and hack.
She hacked the prison. She hacked the lighter. She hacked it. She hacked it and threw itself in the cell.
She gave it cicada flying powers and it flew through the cell. Oh my god! If it's like, because this is the beginning of Felicity's dark path. We're gonna.
Oh my god!
And then she's gonna be even more disappointed when she finds out that Diaz is still alive. Like, even when you gas the man and pour gasoline all over him and burn him alive, he still survives. What a man!
God's sake! Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I reckon it's got to be like Dante and Emiko, given the fact that this scene follows that scene.
Yeah. I think it's got to be. It's got to be, because I reckon it's just Dante tying up loose ends, because he probably saw Diaz as a liability.
Yeah, because we learned that obviously Diaz, he knew Dante, and he kind of had. He's always had this connection with him. Yeah,
and he was scared of him because obviously, you know, he had a debt to pay him for the Longbow Hunters, who they reference again, who we will never see again, because
I've kind of come a bit more at peace with it after this, because I think the way I look at it now is because before this episode, I always thought the Longbow Hunters were kind of friends of Diaz, and that's why it always confused me why they just left. But now it seems like they were literally just hired muscle from Dante.
Yeah.
So they don't really give a shit about Diaz. They were just doing it for money.
Yeah, but that just negates them even more as characters. It's just still,
it's still disappointing that they used the name of the Longbow Hunters.
Yeah.
And set it up as this big thing, and it's just, they're completely underused, completely underserved. Because they were cool characters, but they just had no potential. They had potential, but they just didn't explore it.
They just never used it at all. God's sake. Oh well.
But that's everything, I think.
Yeah. Pretty much everything. I think the next episode of Arrow is like it's like the episode where everybody that got deputized is in the police force.
So John steps down from Arrow.
Oh yeah.
So Lila is basically put under fire, where she's like, "Oh yeah, they want me to resign for the Ghost Initiative," and this actually makes a lot of sense actually, because I was wondering when they were going to do this, because it always confused me the fact that they deputized Diggle, but he was still working for Argus. I was like, how does that work? But now Diggle is now away from Argus, so now he's going to be working full time at the SCPD.
He's now officially back on Team Arrow, guys. The gang is coming together.
Yep, the team's finally coming back. And yeah, they're all. If you do look at the promo photos, which we had a look at before, we get to see everyone, including Hoss, in their police getup, training day, and Dinah's back as well. So we're going to see how she's recovering, and if
she got that neck scar, which she has in the future now. So yeah, no more Canary Cry.
Sad time.
You know she's had a really bad season when the only plot point we've been looking for with her character is her losing a Canary Cry,
her getting her throat
which was something.
slashed.
oh, beautiful! Her throat got slashed. That's it for a character now.
It's going to be interesting because obviously we do have that Birds of Prey episode coming up.
Maybe that will give us something to do.
Because it's just like, does she? So for the Birds of Prey, like, because Sarah never had a Canary Cry, she always had a sonic device instead.
We've not seen Dinah use like a sonic device.
No,
like
she was,
in the
she was a
future.
metahuman.
I mean in the future.
Oh right, yeah. So like we have obviously Earth 2 Laurel. She has her cry. I wonder if they'll give Sarah like back that sort of old device, and then if they'll give Dinah something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe.
But yeah, that does draw everything to a close here. What would you say? Seeing this is a good week, because normally when we come out of this, is always like, Arrow was the best. But which one do you think was actually the best? I actually honestly think my favourite episode this week was actually The Flash.
Yeah, I'd say The Flash as well.
The Flash was just really fun.
Yeah, The Flash was just, I think The Flash surprised me the most, because I think with Supergirl, when I saw that it had Manchester Black and, Agent Liberty in it, I was already kind of thinking, oh, you know what, it might not be that bad. But with The Flash, I kind of looked at it, I was like, CGI goop, it'll probably just be Venom 2.0 on steroids, but filler. But I actually really enjoyed it, and it really, surpassed my expectations. If I'm being completely honest, I'd probably rank it from best to worst. I'd say The Flash, Supergirl, and then Arrow. Yeah, that's me being completely honest.
I would actually agree with that. I think Arrow maybe actually was the weakest this week, which is but I mean, it's still a good episode, but it's just
still a good episode. But I just think with Supergirl, I just thought it was a bit stronger overall. And with The Flash, just what they did with that episode, considering it was filler and how engaged I was throughout the entire thing, they did such a good job with it. So for me, it was my favorite, and just the fact what they were able to do with the CGI alone gives it immediate props, because it was fantastic.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I have to say probably my favourite thing about the Arrowverse this week was just seeing Joe.
Seeing Joe. Joe was the best thing. Maybe that's the turning point now. Maybe now The Flash is just going to be awesome.
Well, we got to
the
see
entire back off.
In the trailer for next week's episode of The Flash, we do see Joe lined up with the team with a gun, so... Joe is back into the action instantly. That back has healed really well.
Maybe he's the one who takes down Cicada, and then they turn around and make the joke of like, why didn't we have him here earlier?
What a dream! What a dream!
Oh, beautiful.
See, why didn't Cicada during those like time loops? Why didn't Cicada ever kill Joe? Why didn't he fly off to Tibet and bloody kill Joe in those scenes?
Yeah, I mean, if you can fly off in the air for no reason, sure, you can fly off in the air to Tibet for no reason.
Anyway, that does draw us to a close of this episode. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload, and share this around to any other DCTV fans who you think may enjoy this content. And also let us know your favourite memories of Arrow in the comments down below. Share your love and your passion, and also your sad depression for Arrow in the comments down below. Because I want to end this episode on a somber note. I want to end this episode on a sad and a downer. Because I always try and be positive, but we're not going to be. We're going to be sad in this episode. Doesn't matter how good The Flash was, and how it actually did a good episode for once. This is a sad time. I need to accept that. I need to live in it. Goodbye.
What a depressing guy.
Goodbye.